G'day and welcome back. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I had a melanoma removed from my back. I'm on light duties. I really want to get into another big German radio, but I'm not allowed to lift anything at the moment, and that thing weighs a ton. So I'm going to do these 3 little transistors, which I picked up in a radio club auction a couple of weeks ago now. So I think I'll start on this one first. This should be the easiest, and I'll do these 2 later. So have a look at this again. I did open it on the last video. And I think I put batteries in this one and it didn't work. No, that's right, the little red wire's missing. So I will... So I'll connect that red wire up again. We'll put it on and see how it goes. I'll have to take the board out actually to get to it. Appears to be only 1 screw in here. This is very cheaply made. This transformer here is on an angle. It's just wires hanging everywhere. And as we saw, the speaker's just sitting there. Let's try and get that out. Yeah, just 1 screw. The wire goes in here to here, so I'll just put that back and we'll put some batteries in. Alright, I've connected that wire up again, put some batteries in and turn it on, and the light comes on. I saw that last time. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing. Where's the volume control? There's nothing coming through the amp. Have a look around the board. What's happened there? It's got the pad missing. Oh God, what's happened there? It's got a bodge on there. That's a capacitor. They've run the wire through and connected it on there and taken the pad off. And just looking, the solder, it's been done by hand. What are they? Is this a backyard thing or something? Those solders there haven't taken. It's got one side of the, I guess that's a transistor, is it? Oh no, it's the coil, it's the output transformer. So it hasn't connected there, it's barely connected there. And it's got these are open. There's nothing, that's not going anywhere unless you close those off. Same with that one. I don't know about those. There's a track there with a hole in it. Oh, I tell you what, this will be a kit radio. This will be a kit radio. Oh no. It's a kit radio. So I've inherited somebody else's mistakes in making a radio, I'd say. There's some numbers there. Can't see any other ones. I'll go and put that into the computer and see what it comes up with. It took a bit of effort, but I finally got something. This is in Chinese. This is the original drawing. And here's some other. There's the board. There's the board all soldered up. Circuit board, and there's another. I think it's probably the same one. Someone's just copied it properly. There's the antenna loop stick, and there's the board there. So those IF channels, just make sure they're in the right place. So that's the oscillator there. Yeah, so 1, 2, yeah, that's it. So they're right. At least they're right. That aerial cannot go in there. That's not right. That's not even fixed. Maybe they just gave up halfway through. So what I'll need to do is go through and just test or check where the transistors are, where the resistors are. There's little capacitors in there. Make sure these electrolytics are the correct value and the right way orientated. I'll check the transistors. That's 13, that's 13, that's 14, which is right. So push pull 13, 14 there, and these all should be 18. So that's 18. That one is 18, that's 18, and that's 18. So they're right. There's a capacitor there, negative on the negative, negative on there, that's negative as well. Yep, that one's right. This one's right, whether the values are right is another thing. Now these ones here, you won't be able to put them backwards because they'll have 2 and 1 on one side. Sorry, they'll have 3 and 1. Yeah, so there's 2 on one side, 3 on the other. 3, 2, 3, 3, 2. And the only other one would be this one here, which is the output transformer. And that's got 3 on both sides, so you could put that backwards. It may be worth removing the solders and pull that out and make sure that it's orientated the right way. I want to check the wires here on the antenna while my soldering iron warms up. So this wire here goes to number 2. No, it's going to number 1. Alright, so there's a mistake. This wire here, well it's red. So the red one goes to 3. The 3's up here. The black one goes to 1, which is here. So these are wrong, every one of them. You couldn't get it any more wrong. Well, maybe I better check the values. I'll check all the resistors, make sure they're correct. There's R1, 120k. Here's the layout of the board, R1, and there's R1 there, and I can see that's 120k. So I'll just keep doing that. I'll come back and we'll get this transformer out. I've checked all the resistors and they're right. I didn't need that, of course. I've got it right here, so I didn't need that. So I've checked all the resistors. I did not check the capacitors. They're hard to see. I can barely see them. So I'll take this transformer out. We'll just buzz it out, make sure it's the right way around. I'll just put a tiny little pencil mark there so that I know which way it was and see if it was the right way around, because I'll no doubt lose track of it. There's no pin there. But that came out easy enough, so I'll put that there. That's T6, that's the wiring for it, or the circuit for it. And if I measure between these two, I should get some sort of resistance. Yeah, so 94, so that's okay. There should be no continuity between these two. No, there's not. So there should be continuity between the two outside ones here. And there is. Okay. There should be continuity between this one and this one. And there is. So it was the right way in, but it wasn't installed properly. Anyway, I'll put that back the way it was, and that'll be done. I've refitted that. It's sitting down properly this time. And I've made a little bodge job there. I've put a bit of wire between, or I've made a new pad there and then put a small thin bit of wire between the two. This LED's got wire hanging down, so I'll get rid of that. Now the last thing I think I need to do is these ferrite rod wires. They're all wrong, so I'll just desolder them all and then put them back the right way. Here's my coil here. Here's the drawing, and there's number 2, that end one, and this is going into 2 there. So I'll put that in there and just follow the little wiring diagram here. I'll come back when that's done. I've reconnected the antenna coil to the right positions on the board, so everything's done. The only thing I could do is check these little current checking points, test points. So where the little X is here, there's one there, there, and here. There we go. So they just follow the transistors in, in the layout that they're in. So this one here, this is where the signal's coming in. So this will be this one here. And what do they want? 0.2 to 0.3. So I'm on the milliamp scale, DC, 0.7. What do they want? 0.2. It then comes down here, so this will be number 2, this one here, so we'll check there, and they want 0.4 to 0.8. All right. Nothing. There we go. 2. 0.8. 2. Number 3, that's this one. What do they want there? 0.8 to 1.6. 2.5. 3 to 5. This is the goes to the driver transistor here. Ooh, that's nice. Hearing a click there. It's 7. What do we want? 5. Oh, gosh. Well, they're consistently high across there. So look, I'm just going to fill these in. I'll see if it works. All right, I've done that. I'll put the little transfer the coil on the ferrite rod. Maybe, oh dear, maybe about the end there somewhere. All right, I've got my little coil set up here. I've got the antenna plugged in up the top there, and it's just using the inner wires. There's only a couple of turns there. Let's put this on and see what happens. If smoke comes out, I'll put it in a bin. Oh, that sounds good. I'll put that on the tuner there so I can turn it. Oh, look at that.
Financial year, and here is the Home Affairs Minister. You're talking about that. The skills shortage in our country is real, and this is not a problem affecting just business. This is a problem affecting the everyday life of every Australian. We have a teaching workforce at the end of their tether. We have nurses who cannot work the double and triple shifts that they have been pulling for the last 3 years. So as you said, this was out of that Jobs and Summit that we've been talking about in
All right.
Canberra.
Oh, it works.
They're also going to talk
So
about ways to
I don't know what those other numbers meant.
today, so we'll keep it.
Didn't seem to gel that they were all high. I don't know what would pull all of them up high. Got the 3 volts going. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll just do a very quick IF alignment. I've got the IF set at 455. I guess that's what it is. This is the oscillator coil, so we'll leave that one alone. We will start here. And I'll see if I can get the signal in. Not getting much there. I'll try this one. Okay, I'm not getting anything. Let's run the volume level up on this so we'll blast it through one way or another. Oh, there it goes. 60. All right, I'll still hear it. Okay, I'll chase it down. All right, that's it. I'll put this on 600. Actually, I need to mount this back in its little case so I can pick up the numbers there so I can align the dial. And now this aerial thing, which is now broken, is supposed to go here, I think. Oh, maybe not. It's supposed to go there. I don't think it fits. Hang on. No, it doesn't fit. All right, well, I might have to try and print a replacement, and that will go on there. It's supposed to hang down the side here, I think. So I'll put this on temporarily, put it back in the case, and we can line the dial up. I've put the board back in the case. I've got the generator on 600, and if I turn it over, right, turn it up a bit. There's 600 there. It's upside down. So try and pick the signal up again. Yeah, so it's way out. It needs to come down here somewhere. So I'll move it towards it there. And this red one will be the oscillator, I think. Yeah, there it is. All right, so I'll get a bit closer to the 600. I think it's okay. All right, I've got it exactly on 600. All right, see, I'll get a signal here. There it is. Got a background noise there. All right. Now if I This is hard to do with get my hand there. So I should be able to adjust this antenna up and down the ferrite rod to maximise it. It's there. Yeah, once again, I've got to hang on to it, and that's not going to do it any good at all. Alright. Now I'll go up the other end of the dial. We'll go to 14, I guess, which is here. That light's playing up. We'll go to 14 on here. Okay. Turn it up. Not there. So that's not there. I think it's this one here. It's going to fit. Yep. There it is. And this is the antenna trimmer. That's about it there. So really, that's all we have to do. Now, the antenna here, I will need to adjust that again once I get it mounted correctly. I'll just be able to slide it up and down, keep my hands away from it, and I'll do that at the 600 point. I just went off and printed up a quick little bracket to hold that ferrite antenna. So I'll put that in there. Alright, it should do, and hopefully that won't foul it. No, it doesn't touch it, I don't think. No, it's good. So just a matter of putting a screw in here. Push that in there. Assume it fits. Oh, that's good. That's nice and tight. Okay. Now, is all that going to fit in there? Oh, just fits. Alright. And just put the screw in to hold the board in. I'll put this wire back on. I need to run it at 600 kilohertz and adjust that antenna for best trim, and that'll do it, I think. The speaker needs to be glued in. I'll do that later. Alright, there we go. That's tight. I've tuned this antenna at 600 again. I didn't film it. It's just too fiddly with me moving it in and out, so I've left that bit out. I'll put the back on and we'll see what it sounds like. Oh, wrong way. There it goes. Oh, hang on, I'll change the antenna over. Alright, that's the outside antenna. We'll see what it goes like.
Joe, 4th and LB Joe, Vinco Mac.
pc.com.au. So Barbara's Father's Day sale is 50-50 shot that I was going to come back on board the boat, but it was the only thing I could do to save the boat was to climb out there.
There's always been the knock-on pet. It's the McDowell. Part of it. Dennis says, just noticed a large area of land cleared in Hamilton Road, not far from Beckett Road for townhouses. Unlucky not to knock out Penrith last year, but there because it was green.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be in the right place now. There's 600. It should be about there, this station here.
12 is the phone number.
But it's way up there, so it should be down here somewhere.
When you get services, at times
So me stuffing those wires back in may have changed that. Anyway, I will continue with this off screen and finish it. I've got to glue the speaker in, but it works well.
Got to break it down. Barston, Salisbury, Orange Grove Road, southbound, left lane block to Kensal Road, some minor delays, River Terrace to Main Street.
Yeah, it works pretty well. I think these are they're like $5 or $10 online. The guy I bought it off at the auction said he paid a cent on eBay for this, but he had to pay postage, but it only cost him a cent. He put a 1 cent bid on it, and nobody else wanted it. So anyway, that's not bad. And
15 minutes.
Yeah, that'll go in my collection, and just a bit of a talking point as well. Okay, that's one radio down. Number 2 coming up. All right, let's have a go at this one. Now this is a little square one, so have a look at this one. This has got the schematic, so I want to use that. So let's get him out of here. And I can re-glue the box. I'm not sure what that is. Might have had a little clip in there. I'll see if I can get one made. Anyway, I'll re-glue that and remake it to look new. Now this didn't work when I tried it the other day. It takes an AA, so I'll go and get another battery. I will photocopy that and expand it so I can read it. I blew up the schematic there and I've got a battery. Positive that way. It's making a noise. Gosh, it's crammed in there. I'll bring my antenna over. I'll put it on flat out. Oh, there's something there. Hang on. I think the battery's having trouble. Yeah, it's not sitting down properly. It is working. There's the racing station. Where's that? 6? That's the only one it's getting. This battery's giving it trouble. There's no volume there, so it'll be a capacitor in here somewhere. Now you probably know I don't really know anything about these transistor sets. I know how a transistor works, but how they fit in a circuit is a little bit tricky for me. There's a capacitor there in the line. Yes, that's feeding the base of that one. So, you know, something like that, if that's failed, it's not going to set the signal through. Something else there, there's another one there. They're small ones though. I don't think that'll be the problem. I'll take this out of its case if I can work out how to do it. Oh, that's just got little screws in there. I can see a screw in here. I'll take him out. I'll have to take the earpiece thing off as well, I guess. Sure is jammed in there. I'll just retrieve the screws. There's one. The other one's stuck there. I'll grab him. There we go. Let's check the flow here. There's the, what do you call that? The oscillator. Then there's 1, 2, 3. And there's your outputs there. So, what are these? That'll be, might be that guy there. I've connected a battery to the battery terminals with some alligator clips here. Sounds like it's got a bad connection in the radio, not so much where the battery was attached. It's not working now. So that plate's holding the tuner as well, and it's just going back. It's getting attached. There it is there. I wonder if it's got a bad solder there. Sounds like it, doesn't it? I'll put a blob of solder there. I'll see if that does anything. That'll do. I'll fix that later. I'll put a bit of wire on there. Alright, we'll try that. There it is. It's back. Okay. Alright, I've got a reasonably strong station there. And I've got a little capacitor here. It's a non-polarized electrolytic. There's only 3 electrolytics in here. One there, one there, one there. So should be easy. My money will be on that one. But, you know, I'm open. So I'll turn it over. Actually, I'll do that one first. It's down there. I think that's it there. I think.
You've got this. You've got this.
Oh, thanks, Shango. Nope, that's not it. Maybe that one. Yep.
There are only 10 metres out, and a chance here for
There you go.
McGrady. McGrady goes all the way to the line. Lyndon McGrady scores the...
Alright, McGrady scored. There's the other one there. I think it's there. Those two, I think. No, that killed it. Maybe those two. Nope, didn't make much difference. I think that's the other one. So that's not doing much either. I'll change that grey one there and see which one it was, this one here. Alright, there's the old one there. It says 5 microfarad by 3 volts. I've put a 4.7 in. Sounds awful. Alright, I'll change these the other two here, which I can't find. There and over here somewhere. There. I'll change those two, see if that fixes it. I replaced this 50 microfarad one here with a 47 microfarad, and I reckon that'll make a bit of difference actually. It's, where is it? It's here on the schematic somewhere. That one there. So if that was playing up in there in the amp circuit, I reckon that'll cause that noise, or the distortion. So I'll turn it on. Oops. Oh no.
He's been dangerous, Lord President. He's put some really good kicks. I think he's forced 2 dropouts and Toby Sexton's forced 1, so to build some pressure to it, that's why I thought they might.
Yeah, that's cleared it up. I still have this one to do here. I think I can see 4 on this drawing. It's not very clear though, but I certainly can't see 4 in here. So I'll change that one as well. That should be a 10 microfarad. Well, that's the last one, so I've replaced that. Put that on there, that one goes on there. Oh, wow.
Your building and construction law experts. There's the kickoff from the Tigers. Now, you start to get the feeling that group of 2 games in a row with Cozzy. Now it's with Tom Hale. 35 outs in the field now for the Warriors. He's lost the ball now. It's picked up by Freddie Lussick, so his first involvement tonight, and that's going to be a knock on Warriors. So it comes back to that error from Tom Hale.
I'll just quickly see if the stations are roughly where they should be.
That was a really big tackle, Dino. It was a big tackle, and he was claiming that it was raked, Phil Sami, and they are going to go for a captain's challenge. That was late.
It's not far out. It's probably a little. Actually, there's probably enough hysteresis there. No, not really. No. All right. Well, that's that done. I might just have a little play with the alignment there for fun. I've got to try and get this earphone nut back on the socket. As with other transistor radios I was channeling Shango there. I get a lot of information as far as repairing transistor radios off him. He's very, very good. He's also good at TVs and radios and others, of course, but I particularly like these transistors. Oh, I'll tell you what I didn't do. I was going to repair that battery holder. So I'll take it out again. Gosh, it doesn't want to come out. I'll do a better repair on that. I've got a little bit of wire there. I'll just carry it over to the pad there and I'll solder it in this rivet. So I'll take 2 on the assembly. Alright. I have to get those 2 screws back in there somehow, so I'll come back when I've done that. Alright, it's back in its case and I've put the battery in. The battery seems to be staying there now. I'll try it out.
So I don't know how Kerry Artis is going to go down there because it's killing. I just got a message of Jack Byrne. You're to the homes. The mark on defensive 50.
On the ABC, listen.
55 away. At Randwick.
Yeah, so it's working alright. As I said, I will just quickly align that more for fun than anything. Gosh, it's not far out. There's a little dot there if you can see it. And that 6 that's in there should be around about there somewhere. Alright, so I'll just do it manual. I'll just move it up slightly. That's where it should be. It's just off the station. So I'll just tweak that a bit.
There's no doubt about it, since even when you were a rookie coming through, people expect to be dealt with differently.
So that's where it should be. That's about right. Yeah, okay. And there's not much up the other end, so I've probably thrown the other end out a bit. That's good. I'll leave it like that. Okay, good. This end of the case had a crack in it, and I've just glued it with super glue, and it's dried. That's invisible, you can't see that. So that's a good repair. Nice. Now it had a little lanyard, we've lost that. Right, the other thing that was crook on this was the earphone, and the socket had broken off, the wires had broken off inside. Alright, we can fix that. I've cut the end of the wire off there. I'll just tin the bit of wire. I'll try and fill a little hole with solder. It's got a little plastic insulator there. You can't get a lot of heat into these. Alright, let's see if we can get it in there. It's not quite what I was going for, but that'll do. This is hopeless, this little fitting. Anyway, I'll see if I can get a bit of solder on there. Wow, look at that. Okay. Alright. I'll try and squash that together. That's a pretty awful way of doing that. Anyway, just make sure it's not shorted out and we'll be right. Yeah, it looks good. There's no shorts there. So I'll just wind that on. We'll plug it in and see what happens. Hopefully I can get that on. Alright, I'll put it in the radio, see if it works. Radio's going. I'll plug it in, we'll see what happens. I'll hold it to the mic there. There we go. So it does work. Yeah, a bit hard to listen. Whoa, a bit hard to listen to this thing, but it's not bad. It's very small. It's good. So that's radio number 2. Now this one's a Loitron Global Sound. Oh, it's got a model number, and it's got it's FM. It's got FM. Medium wave, short wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I didn't know it had FM. Short wave. Yeah, okay, that's good. I think it did work when I tried it. I'm not sure if I tried it or not now. So I'll take that off. And there's the batteries. Alright, I'll get some batteries. Okay, I got a couple of batteries. How do you turn it on? It's working. Band, I think I'm on FM there. Oh, the diggy switch there. Ooh, oh my goodness. Got up. I get FM in here. Well, what do you know, I did. Yep, did have. Alright, I'll take it apart and try and clean it up. No sense trying to work it like that. Looks like there's a screw there. What's that? Oh, what's that? I'll just take the back off. I'm not sure what that screw's for. I'll take the batteries out, I guess. Something holding it up the top here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Oh, this is pretty modern, isn't it? There's a couple of little screws here. I guess this clips off. There we go. Alright, good. Yeah. Oh. I think that's broken. That's supposed to be a have that little stud on it there. That's come off there. This looks very modern. It's got modern capacitors in it. Yeah, alright. I'll see if I can get some fluid in that switch there. I've got some deoxit here. I'll just try that in there. Put a bit in the other end as well. Work it in a bit. Alright, we'll try that out. So I'll put the batteries back in. Turn it on here. That's FM. I'll put it on medium wave. Whoa!
Then we've got Mr. Freeze.
That's a very weak station, and that's picking that up well. That tuning capacitor is a bit dirty. Yeah, a bit crackly there.
Rainbow 450. The Quadilla 640. Exact 7. Perfected $94.
I assume that's crackly and not just picking up a station. I'm not sure. Alright, well it's all working. I don't have to do much to this. I'm not going to bother with it. That little stem that was there, that I think it runs the dial, or this thing here is here. I think it runs the dial back and forth. So I need to fix that. Bit of a clean-up. I don't think I'll bother too much with anything else. Yeah, there's actually something wrong with that in there. So it's not outside the board, like it's not outside the tuner, I mean. So I can flex everything around there. Yeah, it's something in there. So I'll see what's on the other side of that. I've had a look at these solders here, and that's just me stopping it. And I don't think it's a bad solder. If I wobble the tuning wheel, it just stops. So it's inside the tuner there, I think. Alright, I'll pull the tuner apart. I've been looking at this under a magnifying glass. I really don't know what to do. If I pull it apart, it's going to be a mess. Then I won't have a radio at all. The capacitor on the right is the original one. This is a new one, and as you can see they are identical. So I'm going to use the new one. So I'll fit this one. There's absolutely no indication which way this goes. It's got little tangs, so that limits it to two ways. So it either goes this way or it can go that way. I'm assuming it doesn't make any difference. I don't know. I was being a little flippant when I said these should be the same, because they're not going to be. So I have to work out which one's which. I've got this on continuity. These two tangs are the same. Yeah, so they're just ground. I've been thinking about it. That's going to be the ground, and one of these is going to be the antenna, and one will be the oscillator. Now one will be, this side will be AM, and the other side will be FM, so one will be the antenna and the oscillator. The antenna for the AM should be much higher in capacitance than the FM. I have my capacitance tester here, so if I put that on there and touch that on there, 44. I don't know which way the capacitor is, do I? I'm going to go one way and the other. 115. 180. So what's the other side? 57 and 54. So you would think that's FM. Oh, you don't have to change that, do I? Can just do it from here. So 178, 151. I reckon that'll be AM antenna. I've turned the little capacitor all the way down, and it's 15, yeah, 15. So that has to be the antenna there for AM. So it's this one here. I'll put a little mark there. I'll be able to see the mark through the hole, so I know I've mounted it correctly. I'll go and solder this in, and I'll be interested to see if it works. Just doing the last solder on there. This is the one I worked out to be the antenna capacitor, and I've attached the wire from the ferrite antenna there straight onto it. There's the ground, and this will be for the oscillator. So I need to clean up all that flux in a minute, but I want to test it out. Now, before I can mount this back together and try and align it, this little gear was on there. This is how you tune it, and it used to have a little plastic peg sitting in there that you could rotate that on. That broke off when it was broken when I took it apart. So what I thought I'll do is drill it out, get a bit of metal to run in there and make a new dowel up. I'll put it in and glue it, and that should hold it, I hope. I found a bit of metal. It's a pop rivet, shank off a pop rivet. I had to machine it down to fit in the hole and leave it a big enough diameter to take the gear that goes over it. So I've machined it in the lathe. I'm going to put some super glue in there, push it in and let it dry. That looks good. It's fairly straight, so yeah, that's fine. It has another hole on the other side of the case that this has to mate into, so I need to cut this off when I put the case together. I've put the tuning wheel in here, and I've put it all back together. I kept breaking the little wires off, so I thought I'll do all that, and if it works I can align it. I've set up the tuning dial there, I think, so it's centered. So that should work, so I'll try it out. Oh crap. I've disconnected the battery pack. It kept breaking the wires. It was too hard to maneuver anyway. It's now running off my shop power supply. So I'll turn it over and we'll see if it works. I think that's on FM. So I'll push that down. It should be AM. Oh, it does work. Well, there's something in there.
I pulled this trip out and we plugged down a drying pipe, cycled off after about 3 days of trip. The fact that he's been...
Well, clearly that's working. That's good. Very good. I'll try it on FM. Now, as per last time, it didn't really get me stations. I think I got one, didn't I? It's working. Well, it's trying to. Should be something around here. There it is. Ah, cool. All right. I need to adjust this, of course, so I'll set up the generator. My frequency generator set on 600, so we'll go to the AM scale, or the AM band. That's it. And 600 is right there. It's not far out. There it is there. I'll put that right in the middle of the 600 there. And as we worked out, this should be the antenna, this should be the oscillator. Alright, so I'll take it up to, what have we got here? Might be able to get 16, that pointer's on a bit of an angle, 16, put that on 16, oop, can't hear it. Not there at all. Okay. So I don't want to start tuning coils in there. I might have to. Yeah, there it is there. And I assume that's 16 there. I'll come back here, we'll do maybe 13. That's in the middle of 13. Make that, oops, yeah. Make that 13. Yeah, there it is. That's pretty right there. Alright, we go back to 600. Make this 600. Yeah, it's way down there. I'm going to have to get inside and tune the coils. I was hoping not to do that. I've got that on 600. And if I take this out, this red one here should bring that back, I think. Okay. I'll run it up to 13 again. We'll see if we're anywhere near it. It's so vague, I mean really you could put it anywhere. Make that 13. Turn it up. Oh, it's not far off. That's it. Alright, I'll go back to 600. Run this up to 600 again. It's just slightly to the right there. I'll just play with that for a second and get it right. I'll come back. I've adjusted that again and it's right on 600 there. I'll go up to, we'll try 1600. That's about the middle of 1600. There it is. Yep. Yep. So that's perfect. The only thing left is to adjust the trimmer, which is this one. That's about it there. Beautiful. I've turned the generator off and the coil here is connected back to the external antenna on the house. So I've got that just after 600, 612 should be the station, should be pretty close to it.
In the goodness of people,
Yeah, it's good.
he married through Muslim law.
So there's the racing channel, or sports channel, isn't it?
Have you heard them fart?
Have I ever?
It's a hard to get station, that one.
One of the industry foremost. Adele Park.
There's the racing channel. Should be a music channel here. Yeah. I'm not picking it up today. There it is. So working perfectly. That's great. Now I haven't got FM on this generator, so I can't do the FM. I actually pulled this old one apart to see where the little contacts were that would have been making the noise, and I could have sprayed a bit of some sort of cleaner in there and would have fixed that, I'm sure. But the last time I sprayed anything in one of these, it stopped working completely. So that's why I thought I'll just get another one, then that'll fix that problem forever. Well, for a certain time. I'll just check the FM RF alignment. I've got the antenna out, I've got an FM now, and I've set it on 108. I've got the Swartz here, that's at 108 as well.
Never underestimate the power of the Schwartz. Come on, concentrate.
It's not coming through. Well, I don't think it's coming through. No, it's not coming through. Oh, there it is there. So move it slightly towards 108. And I'm guessing this is the oscillator. It's not far out, is it? Alright, so that's 108 set. Actually, it's not on 108. Hang on. Sorry, I didn't do that right, did I? 108. I'll pick the antenna while I'm here. Not making much difference there. No, leave it there. If I go down to 88, sorry, 88, and I'll put this on 88. Right. It's there. Oh yeah, okay. Well, that's it. I don't need to touch anything else. Very good, excellent. I'm happy with the way this is working. It just needs a little bit of a clean on the case, but this front panel here, the speaker cover, is falling off and it's in very poor condition. I'll be careful I don't go into the speaker. Oh, there it is. I'll clean that out, of course. This I'll just go and flatten it a bit and give it a coat of paint. I'm going to lose this loitering, but I was going to try and save it, but it's going to look silly if I do. So I'll just clean this up and give it a coat of paint, I think. I'm out in my workshop again, and there's a couple of little dents in this thing. I think there's one there somewhere. It's not too bad. I'll just try and flatten that out if I can. I've got it on a flat surface here. I'll just very gently tap them. If I tap them too hard, the metal will expand. That looks and feels very flat. I can't feel any bumps there. I'll get this paint off here, this old paint. I have a bit of acetone here. I'll see if that takes it off. I was going to try and save the logo, but it's too hard. If I try and just sort of blend it in with the old paint, it's going to look awful. So I'm happy to just do the whole grill in black. And there goes the last little stubborn piece. Come on. There we go. Alright, all done there. I have some Rust-Oleum flat black, but I'm not sure about flat. I would have liked satin. I'll see how it looks with a flat black on it. If it's no good, I'll go and buy some satin. A little bit hard to see there, but it has come out okay. I'll let it dry for a couple of hours and see how it looks. While the paint was drying, I gave the case a bit of a polish. So it's come up alright. Still got some scratches on it, but that's okay. I've got some isopropyl alcohol here, and I'll just clean this area up before I try and glue it, because I might have got polish on it. Right, that looks good. I'm using super glue gel. I thought that might be better to be able to control how much comes out, and I assume, I don't really know, but perhaps the gel fills up uneven surfaces better than the liquidy super glue. Now that should fit in there nicely. I ended up painting this with satin paint. I went down the shop and bought some satin. The flat black looked pretty awful. So I know I've got a bit of glue through. So I've gone for the satin and that looks pretty good. You wouldn't believe it, a little bit of the glue's come through there and stuck to my finger. When I took my finger off, it took the paint off. So I'll have to just put a daub of paint on there, but that'll be okay. I've reconnected the battery wires, so I'll put the back on. Now I think I'll have to get that earpiece in there. There you go. Push that in. There it is. And there's just 4 screws to put in here. I also polished the back as well. So that's looking pretty good. There's also provision for 2 screws to go down here. I don't remember taking them out, and I haven't got them. I'll go back on the video footage and see, but I don't know where they are. I'll leave them for the minute till I find something. In the meantime, I'll put the batteries in, and we should be able to test it. Yeah, it definitely needs some screws down there. Now I've got my antenna here to try and get the signal inside the house. Turn it on. This is AM. So something about here. No, I'm an FM. There it is.
Washed out, wrapped, passable. nightmare scenario that's actually doing a lot of the regular World Cup games. That you watch the 15 or 20-minute mini and you get a real sense of the game. But firstly, to Australia v New Zealand at the
in those circumstances, if what the monarch does is invite an individual.
Pretty hard to tune. There's a little bit of lash in the tuning dial. So I was thinking that as I looked at it.
The Conservative Party is picking a leader.
But anyway, the radio's working all right.
Race number 8. Ashburton, race 6, winner 8. Rothwell Random, paid $2. Start again. Suspense change, race 6 going up.
Yeah, so that's working well. So that's my hard to get station. Look, I've got 6 shortwaves here. I won't get anything this time of day. It's it's mid-morning. No, there's nothing there. I'll put the antenna up. Go up to FM. And our station's here somewhere. No, there he is there. So, apart from a couple of screws missing and a bit of damage to my grill here, that's radio number 3.
Last week, Camping's Divine Evenings presenter and I have a crack at whatever the latest internet thing is, and this was one that I saw where you take cola and you add milk, and the initial reaction is,
There they are, all 3 working. Some of them despite my best efforts, but they are all working. So I'm getting better at transistor sets. I'm certainly no expert though. Anyway, I had a lot of fun doing these. These were good, and this little guy here should be good. I'll put it back in this little box. It's got the instructions, the circuit diagram. It's even got the earphone. And they all work very well. So I'm very happy with them all. But I can't wait to get back to some valve sets. But if you enjoyed watching this one, I hope you can join me for my next radio adventure.